Today with Righteous Rage, we're going to cancel Glamour magazine. Glamour's website recently featured a story with a headline that you already know is going to be a problem because it contains the word empowering. It also contains the word normalize, which is even more problematic. So putting it all together, the headline declares, "This empowering Instagram photo to normalize facial hair for anyone who's grown up believing it's something to be ashamed of just went viral." Now the article reads, because you need to hear this, very important news. It says, whether you remove yours with waxing, shaving, or sugaring, what the hell is that? Or embrace it in all its glory, what you do with your body hair is totally your choice. We were all born with it, and it's our right to show it off as we damn well please, which is why we have a serious amount of time for this photo doing the rounds on Instagram. Joanna J. Kenny, a 31-year-old British esthetician, took to Instagram to share a close-up snap of her upper lip hair in all its glory. Gross. Ugh. Upper lip hair in all its glory. Alongside the most empowering caption. For all of my dark-haired friends, I'm wearing my new lipstick and blue mascara to remind you all that facial hair is normal. She captioned the picture of her upper lip. Joanna explains that she first started noticing upper lip hair and general facial fuzz when she was a teen. Quite rightly, the skincare guru explains that like acne, pores, lines, and wrinkles, facial hair is airbrush from most forms of media, which, she says, is most people's point of reference to determine what is normal. So this is me normalizing facial hair for anyone who's grown up believing it's something to be ashamed of, she signs off. Obviously, she amassed plenty of supportive comments from her followers, with people thanking her for sharing the unfiltered post. And then we're then informed that this is not the first time this woman has posted to celebrate facial hair on women. The article says that she recently shared a list of all the reasons why her facial hair makes her beautiful, and it's so empowering. I'm not going to read the list because, frankly, I'm too repulsed at this point to do that. We're going to completely also leave to the side the issue that the left really can't normalize bearded women at this point, as they've already made it clear that bearded women are probably men anyway. I mean, they expanded gender roles until the whole thing snapped back like a rubber band and is now more constricted than ever. So now we must suspect, at least according to modern logic, that any woman who wants to grow a beard is probably actually a man trapped in a woman's body. But as I said, we'll ignore that logistical complication for now. What about this idea that it's beautiful and should be normalized for women to grow facial hair? My short answer to that is no. Gross. Stop. My longer answer is seriously disgusting. What are you doing? My even longer answer is that there's a reason why, to my knowledge, no culture has ever embraced female facial hair as the pinnacle of feminine beauty. Go back even to the ancient Egyptians, and women were shaving and removing hair by whatever primitive means were available to them. My understanding is that they would attach jellyfish to their faces and singe it off. And when I say that was my understanding, I mean that I made it up. But in any case, the point is, women have always removed that kind of unsightly hair. Why? Well, there's a reason why facial hair on men is considered attractive, while facial hair on women is not. And this is an important point, because we hear all about the beauty standards and it's supposed to all be arbitrary. It's not arbitrary, much of the time. So what's the difference? Well, namely that facial hair is largely a product of testosterone. Women are biologically inclined to pursue men with higher levels of testosterone. Some of this biological conditioning may be under siege in recent years, as some women these days gravitate towards more sort of androgynous, effeminate types. You know, the scrawny, sexless, hairless Gumbies who look like Voldemort if he grew a nose and joined a boy band. Those guys exist, and there are women who, for whatever reason, find them appealing. But for the most part, even now, women, whether they're conscious of it or not, will prefer men who give off signs of virility and strength. On the other hand, men, again, with some notable exceptions, are not looking for the same sorts of things in a woman. If a man wanted a woman who was like a man, he'd be gay. If he isn't gay, then he wants a woman who's a woman. And on women, from a man's perspective, facial hair does not signal desirable things as it does on men for women. Instead, it signals poor hygiene and a woman who doesn't care about her appearance and doesn't take care of her appearance. Of course, a woman is free to present that way if she wants, but she can't be offended when men are repulsed. Because we're told sexual orientation, right, it's not changeable, it's immutable. So as heterosexual men, we want what we want, and we can't help it. And we don't want to be tickled by a woman's mustache when we go in for the kiss. That's not what we want. That's not our sexual orientation. Is it possible to change all of this? I mean, could you, over time, condition men to find hairy, unkempt, slovenly women attractive? Could you condition them even to prefer that sort of presentation? Is this all a matter of arbitrary social constructs that can be changed? Is beauty truly in the eye of the beholder? Well, those are all different questions, I suppose. And the answer to the last question is no. Beauty is not just in the eye of the beholder. There is an objective quality to beauty. Like, there are things that are objectively beautiful and things that are objectively ugly. And if you think that an objectively ugly thing is beautiful, it's not just your perspective. You're actually wrong. You have the wrong perspective. We hear so much about shifting beauty standards. And it's true that superficial preferences may change over time, but the fact is that a woman who everyone would find beautiful today would be seen as beautiful probably at any time in history, anywhere in the world. There is no time or place or culture that would shriek in horror and revulsion at the sight of Marilyn Monroe, for example. Now, there are some places that would have stoned her to death, but that's not because she was ugly. So beauty is not simply a matter of subjective preference. There is an objective quality to it that holds across all cultures. With that said, is facial hair a more superficial matter? Could you condition men to like it? Could you really succeed in normalizing it in that way? I think probably not. But even if you could, here's the other question: why try? There's nothing wrong with the current standard. Just because a standard exists today and has always existed, it doesn't mean in and of itself that it should be deconstructed and overturned. This is what we hear all the time, as if it's self-evident. We're told, oh, this is just a social, societal standard, we have to get rid of it. Well, even if I agree that even if theoretically it's a basically arbitrary social standard, why does that mean we should get rid of it? In fact, as G.K. Chesterton warned, we should want to know why a fence was put in place before we tear it down, which means the benefit of the doubt should go to the historical standard unless a very good reason can be given for getting rid of it. And it's a hassle to wax my upper lip is not a good reason. Stop complaining and take care of your body and your appearance. That is part of your responsibility as a woman. Yes. Just as it's the responsibility of a man to do the same for himself. Women have a right to complain when men allow themselves to become flabby, shabby, weak, pudgy little things. Men can likewise complain when women not only allow themselves to be unkempt and unfeminine and gross, but even demand to be celebrated for it. All sides should do their part. This is equality. And for women, part of your part is making sure you don't look like Commissioner Gordon when you go out in public. And that is why Glamour magazine and all women attempting to normalize female facial hair are all today canceled. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.